Hi, welcome to the coaching game. I'm Laurie Lawson, and my guest tonight is my longtime friend, Dorota Raniszewska. Raniszewski, I'm sorry. I'm messing her name up, but anyway, it's Dorota Raniszewska. Hello. Hey, Dorota, how you doing after all that?
Hi, Laurie. Well, I'm fine. Happy to meet again because it's not the
I
first time we're meeting.
No, it's not. And I bet, in fact, I know that she's here to talk about something that we talked about 3 years ago and said, is this going to happen? Can this really work? And oh my gosh, this is the third symposium on photos in coaching, photography in coaching. And yep, there's another one coming up. So Dorota's going to tell us all about it. But first, let me just tell you that Dorota, in addition to being a world-renowned coach, is also a world-renowned photographer. And I've never asked you this, Dorota. Which came first? Did you say, "Oh, I'm taking pictures. Let me do some coaching," or did you say, you know what? Maybe these pictures can help in my what? How did that all happen? Because it's amazing that you put it together and then created this international, unbelievable symposium 3 years in a row. Okay. How did that, what
Good.
came first?
Okay, so the photography was first before I became a coach
Hmm.
because it started many years ago. Coaching was not yet existing at that time. So I wouldn't say I'm a known photographer, but I do take photos. And it started with my personal project on family research and photographs, like old pictures that I could find were very helpful for me to connect to people, to talk to retrieve some things from memory. And I could see how photos are useful in communicating, in memorizing or remembering, in opening the speech, in opening the story. And when I was already a coach, I thought, why not to use them during coaching to help people speak, remember, get wider, deeper in what they can say. And actually, the idea is not so strange to include photos because what we keep in our photos is our best memories. So the relationship we've built, the achievements, like important elements of our life. So it's all about resources, and this is what we love in coaching. So I thought, if we are using tools like what are benefits or what are the losses, what are the good sides, bright sides, and the bad sides of a decision, why not to include photos? So it's just a tool. But photos were much earlier for me to discover the power in communication and building relationships.
You know what? And I don't want to say you're a pioneer, but I don't think everybody was realizing that. It was like, you take photos when you're on a vacation or when you have a new baby or something like that. But nowadays, you and I met in a class or I guess a program that created photos specifically for breaking down barriers to communication. That's what I always felt it was. Is there any explanation why that happens? I find in my coaching, if I give someone a photo, they're ready to talk. If I ask them a question, it's like, oh, they're thinking about it and what are they going to say? What makes photos so good at breaking down communication barriers?
Okay, so a photo typically is a story. So what is very specific in my practice is that I invite clients to bring their oral own personal photos. So the photos that come from their life. So this is a whole biography. This is something they know, and it will always trigger the memory. So I think that that's how it works. But the program we met was about not personal photos, but just a set of photos, like ready tools. They still work because they work on this level of the metaphor. So when we speak and communicate, we use metaphors in our daily life. And when we see an image, we suddenly see something or a situation in that image or colors as well that help us to find words to speak. And that's the power of the metaphor. Actually, our language is based on metaphors. We just don't realize it really, how how and then metaphor is an image actually, how much we use images to describe what we feel or what we think, but that is not so concrete, but more abstract, and it's difficult to express. Like, for instance, the time flies. The time doesn't fly. Or you waste my time. You can't waste time. Or you look like $1 million. Yes. Well, it's all about metaphors, but even very simple words like, oh, we are in a dead end.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's just a place in a street, a dead end. But what is dead end, etc. So I think it just that we introduce images that really are images, like printed images. But even if we don't, when we speak, we also use images.
You know what? That is fascinating. I never thought about that. I'm always saying I'm metaphor envious because I'm not good at metaphors, and some people are marvelous at metaphor. But if you say something like, "I just hit a home run," now maybe not in other countries, but in America, you've united everybody because they know what that means. It means you won something. You did something that was kind of special. And it just immediately unites everybody with that metaphor. And I guess photos do the same thing. It's like, okay, this is a picture of a flower. What does that mean? Or this is a picture of a child doing something, and it conjures up memories that may not be the same as yours, but it's a united thing anyway. I never thought of that, Dorota. Thank you.
Yes, but because photos they represent something, and we find meanings. The
Hmm.
point is that when we work with people in any personal growth program or in coaching or in therapy, what is interesting is to understand what is the meaning that the person will find, because that's about understanding the inner world of
Yeah.
someone. So how people interpret what they see, and that's about how they interpret what they experience in life. So it really helps to get there. It's like a bridge from this
Oh, yeah.
level of seeing something that we have just there in front of our eyes,
Mhm.
and the way people will talk about it also serves to understand how they see things actually, what
Wow.
words they use, etc.
Oh yeah. So when did you get this brilliant idea of saying, okay, let me throw coaching into the bag and let me add these things together? How long? Because don't you teach a class? Don't you have a class of people that you
Yes.
teach? When did you start doing all this?
All right. So I for myself, I needed to find a date, like a starting date. But of course, it's been evolving. The practice was evolving for many years. But I would say that my starting date was 2007.
Wow.
And then I was very busy with my personal family research project. And this is when I discovered most of these powers of photographs and pictures, and how it works with memory and with, ability to remember, to speak loud, and to engage. And then a few years later, more or less 2012, 13, I really started working as a coach, and I started, experimenting, like using these photos with my clients individually or with teams. And I saw that it works. It didn't work only for me personally, it also worked for me when I worked with people professionally in my professional practice. So gradually, I just invented, let's say, found ideas to incorporate, to use photos, just thinking about client needs, what they wanted, what they needed. I just thought how I can support that additionally with photographs. And in 2016, I published my first book, One Image, Many Words, that changed everything. And this is when actually I really started doing my course and teaching. So I first published the book in 2016. And I remember the book was published in October, and in December, I've done my first course, my first class that was like few hours class that ICF in Poland, because I'm based in Poland. So ICF chapter in Poland invited me to have a half a day workshop on that. And from the next year, 2017, I really started doing this regularly. So yes, I'm practicing that. It's based on my personal experience, professional experience, and I'm also teaching so other people can use it. I just want to share that these possibilities with other coaches and other professionals.
Well, speaking about sharing, tell us about this symposium that you put together 3 years ago. And when she told me about it, I go, yeah, okay, sounds cool. Can you pull it off? And boy, did she pull it off. And the next one came, and here's another one. Tell us what the symposium is.
All right, so I'm surprised myself because the idea, not only I really realized that once, but it continued. So it only shows that it is a needed platform for exchange. So the idea for the symposium came again from really this wonderful intention of sharing the practice, but not only what I do, but I wanted to create this opportunity for my colleagues to share. There are coaches who completed my course, and during pandemic, this course, of course, I delivered it online, and we continued meeting every quarter just to keep in touch after the one edition of the course, then the second edition of the course, finished, and then another one. And I keep meeting with some of the people, and we were meeting once a quarter, and people were sharing what they do and the projects and the ideas they had. There were elements of just meeting, sharing, some elements of, mentor coaching or supervision sometimes even. And then I thought, wow, all these examples are so special, so unique. And these are people from different countries, from different cultures who adapt, all these ways of working into unique projects. And I just, I said, look, can we do something online so we can open a kind of a symposium, a conference, I don't know, so you can share. And some people said yes, fine. So we've worked for a couple of months. We have designed and combined all that first symposium. I don't remember if 300 people, maybe more, joined, really registered. So I saw that there was this nice response. 300 people, professionals, is nice result.
Very nice.
And then after the first symposium, I've got an amazing feedback from those who participated. People were really grateful, inspired, etc. Also, the speakers were very happy to show. So I said myself, I repeat it next year. Few people approached me whom I didn't know before that they want to present. So there were new people coming in, and the second symposium happened last year. And there were almost 500 people who registered. So also the feedback was very good. They're great speakers, very experienced professional coaches or other professionals, but accredited, experienced, doing really unique things. And there was no option, no question. I knew I have to repeat it for the third time. And this year's symposium It's going to be slightly different. The idea is evolving and growing, and I'm also learning how to do that. So this year, the last 2 years were mostly focused on case studies. So examples from practice, case studies based on projects, so people could see tools, techniques, and a real example from life, from practice. This year we will also have examples from practice, but on top of that, I invited people for an expert panel and some individual presentations and interviews on contracting the use of photos in coaching, on the, like ethical edges. So we were going, beyond tools and techniques to talk really about how we include that and contract and then build relationships with our clients using these techniques. But it's going to be more on this professional practice level already. So reflecting on what are risks, reflecting how to do contract with clients well, depending on context, different type of clients, different interventions, coaching, group facilitation, team coaching, and others. So this is
Ah,
growing, this is
it
developing.
is. You know what I think is the most fascinating thing for me for the last 3 years. Well, I haven't seen this one yet, but I know you're going to do a great job on it. Is the universality. Like you said, it's different cultures, it's different people, it's different genders, it's different ages. And people have done so many creative things. One of the things I remember during the pandemic is like we're all sitting around going, "Oh my God," and one of your speakers went out and took photos of people to say, "Hey, we still exist. It's a different world right now." I just thought it was so earth shaking. It's like how these people could create such beauty during times of disaster and
Yeah.
stress, etc. But it brought everybody together. Now I hear you saying not only are you going to present the case studies, which are fascinating, and I can't wait to hear. I looked at your list of speakers and it's like, wow, this is going to be so good. Yeah, it's going to be also how can you adapt this to whatever you're doing? And yeah, it is growing. It's
Yes.
amazing. It's amazing.
Yes, and what I have also realized, because the symposium is not only about these tools, techniques, and the practice of coaching. It's about the milieu. It's about people. So it's a great opportunity for those who use photos or want to use photos to connect on to reconnect. So it's a meeting. It's a huge global meeting of these people, and it's different from being in a Facebook group, for instance, when you can read and stay updated. It's really meeting, being together, and I think it creates great energy. And we know that if we are professionals in mental health, in well-being, in personal development, we need to stay connected to the community because it's a very demanding profession, and we use energy and we need to recover, we need to restore the energy, also this emotional, the social energy, the intellectual energy, and that happens when we are in the supervision or we meet and exchange. So I think that the very good aspect of that symposium, and this is how I'm seeing it even now more than before, is that people who consider themselves as a kind of a family, let's say. It's not a formal association, it's a family of professionals who are fascinated by something like photos in our lives and in professional practice, that they can meet and they can feel they belong to a community. Even if this is not formal, but we share the same interests and observations and insights from our work. So it's a great starting point to reflect critically on what we do, to make sure we do it within the professional boundaries, that we can think, reflect in case we have dilemmas, because we have always these ethical dilemmas. The more we
Yeah.
grow, the more we meet our clients, the more diverse um, is our work, the more dilemmas we will have, because we need to answer specific situations, contexts, address specific needs, and not everything is, explained or described in codes of ethics or wherever. I mean, we're really working with living stuff. So I think that it's also the symposium is also, and this is what I really want to do this year, is a trigger to reflect, not only to learn, to get inspired, not only this verb inspiration, but to reflect and think critically and ask ourselves questions whether we do right or how we can address things that are not defined in the best way. So I would say that this is the third intention and something I want to um, open this year with the symposium,
I
this
am
reflection.
so glad that you mentioned ethics, because it's something that you don't think about until you're in the middle of it. And it's like, oh, should I, or shouldn't I? Or you just don't think about it. But we all walk around with our cell phones now, and it's like everybody's a photographer. But it's I think I guarantee if you participate in this symposium, and I didn't mention it's free. It's
It
like
is.
it's free. You will not look at a photo again in the same way. It's going to have so much more meaning. You're going to have so much more meaning in the purpose of taking it. But yes, ethics are involved. It's like, where do you draw the line? Who do you photograph? What do you photograph? So it's all I know it's in good hands with Dorota, and she's going to take care of that. But I'm so glad you mentioned that. Let's tell them about the symposium. When is it? Where is it? How do they register? The whole thing.
Okay.
Let's get them going here.
All right. So this is an annual event in November. The 15th November is the date this year. 15th November. It's Saturday.
Mhm.
It is at 3 p.m. Central Europe time, which is morning
I already looked it up. It's
US.
9 a.m. New
It's
York
9
time. So
a.m. New
somewhere in
York.
between there, figure it out. Yeah.
Yes, and it's later in the night, at night in Asia, but somehow it's this 3 o'clock in Europe. It's more or less that we can
Yeah.
offer that to
It's the
those
good
who are
time.
early birds in in America and
Yes,
night
yes.
owls, in Asia. So that's 15 November, 3 p.m. Central Europe time, and it's free. In order to read what is on the agenda and to register, it's enough to just go to my website, which is photoincoaching.com/symposium. So photo in coaching slash dot com
You
slash
left out a dash.
symposium.
Photo-in-coaching.com/symposium, right? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
but anyway, I think if anyone Googles the symposium on photos in coaching,
Yes, yes.
it will take you to this page because that's the only place. It's the only symposium on that topic, let's say,
Mhm.
more to the coaching, not in therapy, more to the coaching. So I'm sure people will find. It's free, but people need to register. So if you want to participate, you need to register because then you get the link. This is an online event, so you need to have a link. It happens on Zoom. It is recorded. Still, if someone wants to see the recording, you need to register because then I will be sending the communications or the links and post symposium information to those whom I can send it. So
Yes,
there
yes.
is this mailing list that is created after people register. So
What
Photo
she's saying
importance
is
lifestyles.
register, register, and if you can't make it, you can get the recording because I know she's done that the last 2 years.
Yes,
It's
it's
still
not.
fascinating.
Yes, it's not live on Facebook, so it's really a Zoom event.
Yeah.
So you need to register.
And tell us a little bit about the speakers. We've got like 3 minutes left.
Okay.
Not in detail, but
All
who
right.
are you having? I know you're speaking. That's always going to be fun. But who else?
Yes, of course, I will open the symposium as every year. I open and every year I prepare something that is about the overall idea for that year. So I will be speaking about, so I entitled my intro speech, introductory speech, short speech, professional boundaries and creativity, navigating a sustainable professional journey. Then there will be a case study by a woman from Poland, a photographic journey towards creativity.
Hmm.
Then we will host Wendy Ann Smith, Between Art and Practice, Exploring Ethical Edges. Anne is a very well-known person. She created and navigates and manages the Coaching Ethics Forum, not only, but that's something people, professional coaches would know. Then there will be an expert panel with 4 accredited coaches and with also a mindful photography teacher on contracting the use of photos in different contexts. So 4 people from different fields will answer the questions about contracting. Of course, Mandy Seligman, as last year, will present a new project by Seeing Happy, Finding Beauty and Seeing Possibilities. So this is on the positive psychology and photography side. And also Judy Weiser, I invited Judy to speak about what was behind this possibility to build such a big community and grow professionally for so many years. And I also want to speak about ethics with Judy. So how you can really build your practice over so many years and also develop the professional community, thinking about ethics and ethical growth.
And there's more, but we're out of time. So what you've got to do is just Google symposium on photography and coaching. You're going to find Dorota and you're going to find this fantastic symposium, and it's November 15th. So don't forget and register. I'm going to be there, and so are a lot of other
Fantastic.
people. Dorota, so many cheers to you for doing this. Every year is so fascinating, and we all so appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the 15th.
Thank you. Thank you, Laurie. That was really a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
You too, always.